Namaste, angels. This is the daily reading for today, Tuesday, May 28th. I did not do a reading on Monday, the 27th. It was Memorial Day in the United States. And I know you probably say, but Queen, you do readings on holidays and, so-called days off and your vacation and all that stuff all the time. This is true. But I also sort of had to have it penciled in that I may not, I do readings on Monday. I may take the day off, and then I never do. So I finally decided, you know what? We had two really, really good readings. At least I thought so. The love reading and the general reading this week I felt were really, really thorough, and we got a lot of messages, and I figured that was enough. But I'm back today. And we're going to start with the year 585 BC. I didn't check to see where the moon was, but it has to be in either Pisces or Aries. And then, of course, like the end of the week, the 3rd, the 4th, it will be in Gemini. So, yeah, it's probably in Pisces. Then it has to go to Aries, then Taurus, and then, like I said, by the end of the week, Gemini. We're going to start with the year 585 BC, when a solar eclipse, as predicted by Greek philosopher Thales, while Lydians are at war with the Medes, leads to a truce. Oh, a solar eclipse is about new beginnings. It's nice that it led to a truce. And 585 is like a 5 and then a 13 or a 4 or 1111. And of course, together they equal 9, which represent endings, but also new beginnings, and born in general if you're using supreme math, which is basically also about a new beginning born of something else. So I think it's appropriate. Wow, it's pretty cool. Yeah, so it led to a truce. 1431, Joan of Arc, this is another 9, another born, or another endings and beginnings maybe, is accused of relapsing into heresy by donning male clothing again, providing justification for her execution, which is pretty ridiculous. Yeah, I guess it was her 9 which led to her ending. She was basically put to death for cross-dressing. Not even for leading the war, and all of that, for cross-dressing. 1588. The Spanish Armada, under the Duke of Medina Sidonia, departs Lisbon to invade England. 1830. U.S. President Andrew Jackson signs the Indian Removal Act, authorizing the Army to force Cherokee, Chickasaw, Choctaw, Creek, and Seminole tribes out of Georgia and the surrounding states, setting the stage for the Cherokee Trail of Tears. My family's Cherokee. Also Catawba, but my grandfather was Cherokee. 1936, Alan Turing submits, quote, on computable numbers, end quote, for publication, in which he set out the theoretical basis for modern computers. 1972, White House, quote, end quote, plumbers first break in at the Democratic National Headquarters at Watergate Complex in Washington, D.C. Did you know, near Callendar, Ontario, the Dion quintuplets are born to Olivia and Elzire Dion, later becoming the first quintuplets to survive infancy. Happened on this day in the year 1934. Famous birthdays: George I, William Pitt the Younger, and Jim Thorpe. Would you believe monkeys, Abel and Baker, zoomed 300 miles or 500 kilometers into space on Jupiter missile and become the first animals retrieved from a space mission? Happened on this day in the year 1959. Famous weddings: 1894 or 1304, 1111. Belgium Princess Josephine marries Prince Karl von Hohenzollern. Doesn't say where he's from. 1948, which is also 49 or 1304, 1111. Film director Stanley Kubrick, 19, weds his high school sweetheart, Toba Metz. 1954, The Bad and the Beautiful actor Kirk Douglas, 37, weds producer Ann Bidens, 24, at Sahara Hotel in Las Vegas. 1533 or 66, the Archbishop of Canterbury voids the marriage of King Henry VIII and of England and Anne Boleyn. Guess he killed her not long after that. 2013, actress Courtney Cox and actor David Arquette divorce after 13, another 13 or 4, 11, 11 years of marriage. Famous deaths: Edward VIII, Phil Hartman, and Maya Angelou. Maya Angelou, or Marguerite Annie Johnson, was an author, poet, and activist, revered globally for her poetry and her commitment to civil rights. Maya Angelou was best known for her series of 7 autobiographies, which focused on her childhood. The first, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, in 1969, tells of her life up to the age of 17 and brought her international recognition. Her books were centered around themes such as racism, identity, and family and travel. As a respected spokesperson for Black people and women, her works have been considered a defense of Black culture. She was also active in civil rights and worked with Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. She was born on April 4th, 4-4, in the year 1928 in St. Louis, Missouri, and was a dragon on the Chinese zodiac, like Kanye and the president, only she's not an asshole. She was an Aries. She died on May 28th in the year 2014 at the age of 86. Maybe the dragon doesn't mix well with Gemini, because Kanye and the president are both Geminis too. Phil Hartman was an actor. He was American and Canadian. He became famous in the late 1980s when he joined the sketch comedy show Saturday Night Live, and is best known for his impressions, particularly of former President Bill Clinton, and also known for providing the voices of Troy McClure and Lionel Hutz, 2 characters on The Simpsons. He was born on September 24th in 1948 in Brantford, Ontario, Canada, and was a rat on the Chinese zodiac and a Libra. He died on May 28th in 1998 at the age of 49, another 13 or 4, 11, 11. He was murdered by his wife. Edward VIII. This guy looks like a Nazi. No, he wasn't. Edward Albert Christian George Andrew Patrick David Windsor was the King of Great Britain. I mean, he may have been a Nazi too, but, you know, low key, not an official Nazi. Oh, wait a minute. I speak too soon. Listen to this. Okay, I know what he looked like. Let's get to it. The eldest son of George V and Mary of Teck, Edward was a popular Prince of Wales and served in the British Army during World War I. George V died in 1936, and Edward succeeded him to the throne. His disregard for established conventions, apparent sympathy to fascism, and impatience with protocol worried government officials. In November of 1936, which together makes an 11-19. November and the 1936 equals 19. November is 11 and 1936 is 19. A constitutional crisis arose when he proposed to marry Wallis Simpson, a twice divorced American socialite. The government of Stanley Baldwin, the Dominion governments, the Church of England, and much of the public disapproved of the marriage politically, socially, and morally. They found it unacceptable. Faced with a choice of destroying his role as a constitutional monarch and going against the teachings of the church, of which he was the head, Edward abdicated his throne in December. I guess he really loved the lady, thus becoming the only British monarch to do so voluntarily. He was succeeded by his brother Albert, who was crowned George VI. But listen to this. After he abdicated, he was created Duke of Windsor, and he controversially met with Adolf Hitler and toured with him in Germany in 1937. His apparent pro-Nazi views made government officials appoint him as governor of the Bahamas. As if the Bohemian people deserve that. Yeah, I know a Nazi when I see one. I've been telling y'all that president was a Nazi too, Trump, long before he unfortunately won the election. People were mad at me. Even some black people were like writing in like, Queen, think you're wrong. Think he's meant to be the president, you know, because all kind of bullshit they were telling me. I'm like, the man is a Nazi. Anyway, he was born on June 23rd in 1894 in Richmond, Surrey, England, and was a Cancer. He died on May 28th in 1972 at the age of 77. And look and see how he was a Cancer. And I always say it's like it tends to be that karmic, funky energy. It's a feminine one. He may have been a feminine. Tends to be Cancer or Leo Cancer. Not that all Leos are bad or all Cancers are bad. I'm not saying that. My female best friend from high school is a Cancer, actually. And I myself am a Leo rising and also have several Leo friends. My dad is a Leo. My son's a Leo Virgo. So I'm not saying that. But, when I do the read, that's how it comes out. And not only is that how it comes out, but I was made to see, and to learn fairly early on, that the Cancer Capricorn, was the axis opposite that, opposite one another. It's like the devil and this devilish other energy. Yeah. I don't know why I got tongue tied, but hopefully I made sense finally. All right, he was the last of the deaths, so I'm going back up to the birthdays. And it's Jim Thorpe's birthday. He was a versatile athlete, okay, of Native American and European ancestry. Thorpe is considered one of the most versatile athletes of the 20th century. He won gold at the 1912 Olympics, the pentathlon, and the decathlon before being stripped of his medals for receiving payment as a professional, and these medals were reinstated in 1983. He went on to play professional baseball, including for the New York Giants, football, and basketball. He was born on May 28th in 1887 in Prague, Oklahoma, USA, and was a Gemini. He died on May 28th in 1953 at the age of 65 of heart failure. So when he got his medals back, it was posthumously. They didn't mention that, but apparently. William the Younger, I think I remember him being a douchebag, but let's see. He was English, the second son of Prime Minister William Pitt the Elder. William Pitt the Younger is the youngest ever British minister, aged just 24 when he was appointed by King George III. Pitt's tenures as Prime Minister, he served 3 terms between 1783 and 1806, and they were dominated by the French Revolution and the Napoleonic Wars. In order to pay for these conflicts, he reorganized British finances and tax laws. In 1801, he was the force behind the Acts of the Union, which united Great Britain and Ireland. Pitt died young at 46, worn out by gout and ill health. Oh, maybe it was the father that was an asshole. I don't know what I'm remembering. Anyway, he was born on May 28th in 1759 in Hayes, Kent, England, United Kingdom, and was a Gemini. He died on January 23rd in 1806 at the age of 46 of suspected peptic ulceration of his stomach or duodenum. They're saying he died of an ulcer. Stomach ulcer. George I was king of England, I guess. It just says king. Nationality British. Oh, okay. He was famous because he was the king of Great Britain and Ireland from 1714 to 27. He was born on May 28th in 1660 in Hanover and was a Gemini. He died on June 11th in 1727 at the age of 67, which is another 1304 or 1111 again. There's a lot of them today. And my cause of death was stroke. And he was the last of the birthdays for the day. So let's see what the dice have to tell us. Buy shoes, weekend away, and try again. Spirit says yes. Party. And dirty movie. So dirty movie for me tends to be like maybe some online dating or talking with somebody, meeting somebody online, talking, conversing with somebody. online or something. Actually, I'm going to do some dirty movie later. I have this woman who she's always, whenever she wants me to read for her, she's always in crisis. So a lot of times I have to decline because, I have readings that I have to do for people that, you guys know, you've purchased readings from me. You go on, you purchase it, and then I do it typically by the following Saturday, whatever, but I provide you the video and I send it to you. She wants me to read her, online, and right away, because there's always a panic or something. So I usually have to say, no, thank you, I can't. But today I told her, although I did have some readings that I have to do, I could probably fit her in this evening. So that's supposed to happen. But yeah, any kind of thing like that. Conversing with somebody, maybe Skype, FaceTime, whatever. And the 8 of spring is also that kind of energy. It can be about communication and also represents stuff going on behind the scenes. And this communication we can receive via mail too. It can be like, receiving something that you ordered, online maybe, or some kind of news, positive, because the 8 of spring of wands for me is always positive. Some kind of news coming in the mail maybe, and opening to the Queen of Spring. This might be telling us that the answer to my question before, also justice wanted to be seen. Answer to my question before is that the moon is in Aries maybe, because we started out with fire and opening to fire. Talented, brilliant, independent, and charming. Don't underestimate your ability to manifest your dreams. You may have several priorities vying for your attention at once, but you can do it. Queen of Spring is a Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries, where the moon may be today, or someone likened to those traits and attributes. Very passionate, confident. And also, like I said, justice wanted to be seen, represents the planet Venus and the sign of Libra, which she rules. Maybe what's coming to you, what you're receiving is some sort of legal paper. Again, still positive, or government, something from the government, maybe. Maybe something contractual that you've been waiting on. These are both 8s. So 8s have to do with karma. But, this is something that's coming based on good karma, as far as I'm concerned. Fair decisions will be made after all of the evidence is reviewed impartially. Have compassion for others and try to see all sides of a disagreement. Eight of Spring and the 2 of Autumn. You may be under stress because of multiple jobs or too many responsibilities for one person to manage. It's important to balance your work and your personal life and to bring a spirit of fun to all that you do. 8 of Spring. It's another 8. 8 of Summer. You feel that there's more to life than what you're living. So it's time to move on. You may be moving from a situation that isn't good for you, or perhaps you're being drawn to what would make you happy. Either way, you're in control. This month has an energy, a universal energy of 8. Too. This month it's almost over. May, because May is 5 and the year is 2019. That's 3. 5 of 3 is 8. Maybe something being initiated now at the beginning of the week, that by the end of the week, by the 31st, you should have experience in your life. If you're waiting for this thing, you should receive it in the mail or this phone call or whatever. You should get it. And it may have to do with money or your security. But again, good news. Contentment comes from knowing that your finances are secure and your family's material needs are taken care of. It's important to honor traditions and to have pride in your heritage and the accomplishments of your ancestors. 8 of Spring. And the 3 of Autumn, which is about abundance that is earned. Again, something can be on its way to you, and it's because of your karma or the hard work that you've done, on this plane. Either you've done the work, in the ethers, for the universe, or you've done it on this plane and you're being paid for it, or you deserve payment for it. Some sort of promotion, bonus, award, recognition, something. Your most satisfying and profitable career or relationship too comes from following your passions, listening to your heart, and doing what brings you joy. Your life purpose is best fulfilled by allowing your true talents and true self to shine forth into the world. Overall energy is more fire. Major Arcana card 14, balance in this deck, which represents the sign of Sagittarius. Could be connected again to the end of the week and perhaps the Sagittarius moon. Oh, wait a minute. No, the end of the week is the Gemini new moon. The end of the month is the Sagittarius moon. Could still be connected for it to have popped in my head like that. And there is, I don't know if this is a sun or a full moon. I guess it could pass for either there. It's probably a sun. But, you know, it looks full moonish too. By merging varying points of view, you can generate an extraordinary new idea, compromise with others, and collaborate to discover a better solution. So this can be like working something out, some sort of terms of an agreement. Again, maybe a contract, or maybe a disagreement that's being worked out. If not wholly in your favor, you're not, you know, you're getting a fair cut, shot. I don't know how to say it. But again, it's positive news. You're not getting the shaft. You know what I mean? But it may involve working something out with some other party or entity or something. Person. If it's on a smaller scale. Could just be, you know, between you and, you know, somebody, anybody, a lay person, working something out, calling each other or writing each other a letter or sending each other a card. Look, dude, I'm sorry, whatever it is. You know, that sort of thing. Oh, Feminine's getting 2 cards here today. I don't know why. She is. We shall see why in a moment. Crowning the masculine today. It is the 6th of winter. The challenging times are coming to an end, and you can now breathe a sigh of relief. Let go of the past and embrace the happier times ahead. 6th of winter can be about actual travel, maybe visiting someone or revisiting someone or a situation. Maybe that's how we're going to work it out. We revisit or we physically visit. It's about movement, possibly moving. You know, so one way or another, whether it's literal or metaphorical, things are moving. And again, it's forward moving. It's positive. There is no negativity felt with the 6th of winter of swords. Surrounding the masculine, this is worry. It's unnecessary worry. This is him like being all bent out of shape and putting himself at risk of manifesting negativity into his life rather than, you know, the healthy energy, the good energy, the positive energy that wants to show up for him. This can be him having trouble sleeping because he's overthinking and stuff, possibly an actual air sign. You know, in particular, that's stressing out, air sign, male or masculine. Your worries and fears aren't real. They're fueled by focusing upon the negative, which gives power to that of which you're afraid. Stop worrying. Let go of fear and everything will be okay. Again, maybe waiting on some news about a trip or an opportunity to move house or something. And maybe that's why he's like this. Masculine subconscious. It is the world. So some old situation or relationship or something is coming to an end. And that could be what has him a little antsy as well. The world in Major Arcana card 21 is of a fire energy for me. I haven't attributed it to any particular sign, but it's fire. Congratulations on successfully accomplishing what you've set out to do. You've made it through the challenges and incorporated life's lessons that were offered to you. And you've done that with grace and courage. That situation may involve some sort of party of 3. Not necessarily a love triangle, but that is possible. And by love triangle, I don't necessarily mean cheating on anybody or having an affair or whatever. We can have a third party. Third party can be your child. Third party can be your parent. Third party can be an ex, especially if you're talking about love triangle. That can be an ex, like my children's dad, for example. And a guy I'm dating and myself can show up as a love triangle, although there's no active and hasn't been any active energy between my ex-husband and myself on this plane, but there could be some sort of etheric cord that's causing it to show up as a party of three. Just so you guys understand that. For the feminine, we're crowned by the Seven of Summer. It's time to stop procrastinating and to make a decision so that you can move forward with a priority. If you need to do more research, then do so, but don't overthink the situation. Listen to your heart. Yeah, we don't want to end up frantic like the masculine. Surrounding the feminine, it's more water. Maybe the decision we have to make is about a Prince of Summer, Prince of Cups, or about love, or something to which we are emotionally tied, something that makes us happy. It could still be like a job or something, like hearing some news or whatever. Could be like the job of your dreams, the opportunity of a lifetime, right? That you've been hoping for, something like that. Prince of Summer is romantic, flirtatious, introspective, and enchanting. A deeply emotional and probably romantic experience will sweep you off your feet. Things can move quite quickly during such whirlwind encounters, so stay balanced and make decisions with both your heart and your intellect. The Prince of Summer is a Pisces, where the moon may be today, Cancer, or Scorpio, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. And again, we may need to make a decision about him, or we may need to make a decision about something to which we're emotionally tied, in which we're emotionally invested. It may have to do with children. It may have to do with dreams, goals, fantasies even. And it's like, okay, you got to make a decision so you can actually do something, not just sit there and dream about it. Feminine subconscious. Again, we got two cards. Ooh. They are the Three of Winter, or Three of Swords, and the Princess of Winter, or Page of Swords. So this is like the feminine expecting bad news, or thinking on something negative or sad. However, sadness is part of life. You don't have to endure it alone. You may need a little time to heal, but once you work your way through the emotions, you'll be stronger than before. And the Princess of Winter, logical, truthful, curious, and undiplomatic. This is an intellectual challenge that calls upon your ability to think of a matching solution. So maybe connected to this decision, right? I got to come up with a solution. If helpful information is put to you bluntly, accept the message without being bothered by the messenger. That messenger may be a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. And maybe what's happening is you're having to make a decision. Your feelings are mixed about it. Like, again, there's love involved, and so it's a good thing, and it's forward moving. It's a good thing, but at the same time, what you're leaving behind or what you have to let go in order to achieve that may bring you some sort of sadness. But this placement, remember, is, subconscious. This is like reality. This is in your head. This can also be somebody thinking, since again, this is like conscious, subconscious placement, thinking and maybe struggling with the decision because you're worried that Prince of Summer, or love in general, is intent on hurting you. So maybe you're pondering this decision because you're afraid to get involved with whatever or whomever this is. Crowning. It's the Nine of Summer, though. So it is something for which you've prayed in a positive way, that you've wanted. Now's the time when your dreams come true. Don't worry about how this will happen. Remember, I said the Seven of Summer could represent dreams. Yeah. So it's them coming to fruition. Don't worry about how this will happen. Just give gratitude to God for all that you have and all that's still to come. At the foundation, the Eight of Summer. So you're leaving something behind. Like I said, that can be what brings the sadness. Walking away from something brings the sadness, but also happiness, right? So that it's mixed feelings. You feel that there's more to life than what you're living. So it's time to move on. Like if you got to leave a relationship because it's just not going anywhere, that's, there's some sadness there, but at the same time, there's happiness. So that it's the right thing for you to do. It's going to make you a better person. Leaving a job that's a dead-end job, not going anywhere. I love the people there. I've been there forever, but I got to go. So there's sadness. I got to do my own thing. I got to start my own company. I got to move to another state, whatever. You feel that there's more to life than what you're living. So it's time to move on. You may be moving from a situation that isn't good for you, or perhaps you're being drawn to what would make you happy. Either way, you are in control. And at the heart of the matter today, it's victory. It's victory. It's us doing the right thing, choosing appropriately, and doing what we have to do for us. You may receive a promotion, be chosen for a scholarship, find that you're singled out for recognition, special recognition. You've done an amazing job and you deserve all the attention. So again, some news may come your way where you are being promoted, raised up, recognized somehow, and it may force you to have to move forward even though you're not ready to let go of something from your past, and you're going to have to decide, can I, will I, particularly the feminine today. Further to that, masculine, some love and emotion for you too. It's the queen of summer, compassionate, loving, giving, and psychic. This is a time of deep emotions and heightened intuition that you can trust completely. Be mindful that you don't ignore your own needs while caring for others. Masculine, I have been talking to about his people pleasing and needing to focus on himself somewhat. And it's more air on this side for the feminine, the queen of winter now. Experienced, self-sufficient, brilliant, and funny, and in queen of winter style, leaving what doesn't work anymore for her and moving towards something that does. All of your life experiences have prepared you for this moment of truth. It's time to declutter your home, to clear away situations that aren't working for you anymore, and to disengage from people who create more drama than happiness. The Queen of Winter is a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or can be, Mercury himself, even though it's the Queen, or Venus herself. Or, someone likened to those traits or attributes who is cutting out what doesn't work and bringing on what does. I hope you guys have enjoyed the daily reading. I'll be back tomorrow. Namaste.